Putting Linux out on the net was kind of the natural thing to do in many ways. And there were a lot of small reasons, like the fact that I thought it was a good idea anyway to make Linux available to others so that they could try it out and send comments back to me. My name of choice was Freaks, F-R-E-A-X, which was both the free and freak plus the X that you need to have for Unix. Ari Lemke, who actually put it up for FTP, thought that it really was a bad idea and really hated the name, and he made the FTP site available for it, and he just called it Linux because he knew that was the working name, and the name stuck, and Linux is the much better name. Fairly early in '92, suddenly I didn't know everybody anymore. That it was no longer me and a couple of friends. It was me and a couple of hundred people who I had no idea where they were, what they did with the system, and who they are. And that was a big step. The 1.0 release in '94 was certainly important, and it meant a lot to me just because there was a lot of work behind it. It was certainly a landmark to commercial use of Linux. It was really hard to use Linux commercially before 1.0.
Toivotan teidät tervetulleeksi tähän Linux-käyttöjärjestelmän julkistamistilaisuuteen.
Miksi tämmöistä Unixia ollenkaan tehdään, varsinkin tämmöisessä yliopistoympäristössä, on se, että niitä kyllä on olemassa PC-koneillekin, mutta niiden hintataso on erittäin korkea. Eli kun esimerkiksi DOS nostaa kotikoneeseen $200 markalla, niin tuommoinen Unix-kotikoneeseen maksaa helposti $20 000 markkaa, mikä on opiskelijalle hiukan liian paljon. Menkää vaikka jonnekin tietokonekauppaan, niin kysykää, että onko teillä SCU Unix, niin ne katsoo teitä kysyön ja sanoo, että ei, emme. Itse asiassa paljon helpompi kirjoittaa se itse.
You want to have hundreds, thousands of people working on the kernel at the same time, but you don't want to have all these people stepping on each other's toes all the time, because that way you will just get, most of the time will be spent on just resolving conflicts between people. You just have flame wars all the time. I used to think that it was this hierarchy where I was at the top and they were my lieutenants, and I don't think it's that way anymore. It's more like a web of trust where I have people I trust and they have people they trust. Fighting between Linus, who's the leader of Linux, and Bill Gates, who's the leader of Microsoft, and it becomes really personal. The acceptance of Linux has been helped enormously by the fact people have known that Linux exists through the news, and the David versus Goliath story helped there, but I don't think it was particularly true.
You're a socialist.
That's one of the labels people put on.
Is that true?
Och det är ju ingen hemlighet, jag tillhörde radikalerna i slutet av 60-talet med gamla studenthus och studenternas FN-förening som organiserade nästan alla demonstrationer på den tiden.
My personal belief system is more one of personal honor. And I don't care what anybody else does. I want to do what I feel is right.
Att Linus håller sig oerhört på ett mycket bestämt avstånd från det där, från politik, och det hänger säkert ihop med att han så att säga skadades lite under sin tidigaste barndom av en mycket aktiv och politisk far.
It is also about having a social conscience. And if you call that socialism, then Yeah, I guess I'm socialist.
Att han är radikal inom ett ganska bestämt område där han själv skapar ramarna för sitt område. Eller han går, som jag upplever det, oerhört ogärna ut i det där i lösa, lite flummiga samhällspolitiska resonemang. Och där finns den här skiljelinjen mellan den här pragmatikern som vill syssla med någonting som är kännbart och inte låta liksom ångan åka ut genom det där öronen och flumma iväg om någonting som vi gärna gjorde på 60-talet.
Part of what I like about Silicon Valley is just that it's so dynamic and you can do anything here. And even the money-grabbing approach, I mean, even if it's slightly tasteless, especially when you come from Europe, it's a really good motivational factor and it's a really good way of getting things done. Has it changed me? I assume so. I mean, it's not the same. I'm not the same person I was when I moved, but I don't think it's made me all that more money conscious than I used to be. There's no question that development of technology is just going to make Linux obsolete at some point. And the question is just how long will it take?
Andy. Joo, inte fraus.
Will it be in 5 years? Will it be in 15 years? Or will it be in 50 years? And I think one of the powers of open source is that in 50 years, the next operating system that's the best at the time will be able to take advantage of the source base that Linux had. I mean, the source code itself is to some degree the memory of Linux, and people can always use that as a kind of blueprint. But there's more than that. There's also the intangible issues about why things were designed certain ways. And I think those certainly are out there, even if I weren't out there.